This video is sponsored by the Book of Yog, an idle RPG roguelike game with Diablo-like mechanics that features different kinds of gameplay including looting in dungeons, adventure, combat, leveling up, treasure hunting, and loot collection in both dungeons and out in the wild. One of the strongest points of this game is the amount of characters that are in this game. There are so many kinds of characters that are in this game, all of different types and different races, and you can collect all of these characters with the gacha mechanics that are in the game. And if you don't believe that there are different kinds of characters that can cater to your fantasies, look no further than this. We have here a princess that is a transparent cyborg. We have a female centaur. What do they even call these things? I don't even know what they are called. And for those of you who are serious degenerates, there is also the ability to do some very, very questionable stuff in the game. Listen, I don't endorse this. Like, if you absolutely must do this, go out and touch grass. Find a girl of your own. You don't need this. You really do not need this. But if you can help yourself, the feature is right there in-game. If you're interested, make sure to check out the Book of Yog on Steam with the link in the description. And thank you once again, Book of Yog, for sponsoring this video. Hey, what is up guys? It's Mordant. Now, ever since I've been making Ananta videos, I've seen a lot of comparisons to NTE, and even in my most recent videos where I've talked about the little bits of news that we've gotten, basically confirming that Ananta is a real game and it is in fact going to be coming, I've seen a few people sharing their concerns about us potentially having another Genshin versus Wuthering Waves kind rivalry in the Ananta community, especially against the NTE community. So I just wanted to make a video to actually talk about this. This shouldn't be a long video, at least I hope it's not a long video, but if it is, yeah, but let's talk about the history of Ananta first before we talk about NTE. Now, Ananta was first announced at Gamescom 2023, and it was under the name of Project Mugen. And because of the fact that Wuthering Waves had not released at the time, the only game that was technically a gacha game that a lot of people had seen at the time was just Genshin Impact. And Genshin Impact, like I've said in multiple videos, is a game that is situated in a world that is not modern. So seeing a game that is technically going to be a gacha game that is also featuring a modern world is something that a lot of people were very interested in, and it shows because the videos that Ananta made at the time under the name of Project Mugen soared to very, very high amounts of views. Now, at the time, I also made a video about Project Mugen, which didn't get a lot of traction. I guess maybe because I made the video a little bit late, but that's not the point. The point is, there was a lot of interest in the game at the time, and this game came out of nowhere. Like, no one was expecting this game at all, but after that they just went silent. Fast forward about a year later and NTE drops a trailer, and it's basically Ananta, but not made by NetEase. Now, when NTE came out, one of the first things that came to my mind after I saw the trailer was a very simple question. Which of the two games is the better game? And this was actually what I made as my first ever NTE video. And this video later on came to become one of my highest viewed urban open world gacha game videos. This video went all the way up to 8,000 views in a few days, which is very, very crazy. But it highlights the problem that I'm trying to address in this video. The video was titled NTE versus Project Mugen, which is better. And anyone who knows this knows that this is basically just tribalism at its peak. And yes, I get it, controversy sells. And while there are people who are just genuinely interested in knowing which game is the better game so that they can know what game to play, there are people who just want to come out here and bash the games. They don't want to look at things objectively. They just believe that their game is the best game and they should put down any other game that is trying to even compete with their game. But I want you guys to remember this. This is a quote that I heard from MKBHD at first. It goes something like this: competition breeds innovation. When Genshin Impact was still the only gacha game that was on the block, we heard the developers say that they weren't actually technically planning on releasing any other thing that was like Musk Reef, which a lot of people translated to mean that they are not planning on doing any other form of endgame in the game. Now, I personally never believed that. I always believed that they were planning on working on something else, but notice how those plans never came to fruition until after Wuthering Waves came out and Wuthering Waves started to succeed. Right after that, we then got the Imaginarium Theater, and now we're starting to get more and more endgame modes in Genshin Impact. But this was never the case. At first, it seemed like they only wanted to focus on the casual audience, and this is what competition does. When there is another game in the same space as you that is able to compete with you, the companies start to improve their game in order to be able to one-up the other, and the people who are benefiting from this are you, the consumers. So all of this is just a long way of saying, please try your very best to keep from making any of your arguments toxic. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't compare the two games. That wouldn't be right. What I am saying is, if anyone is engaging with you when you're comparing two games and they're trying to take things too far, don't let them. This is just a game. It's not that serious. If they don't like your opinion that much, then you are very, very free to walk away from that conversation. Don't let it become as toxic as the Wuthering Waves versus Genshin thing, because at that point, it becomes pointless and it will drive away a lot of the casual audience that actually wants to come and try this game. And one thing we should know is that if we want any of our games to succeed, be them Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact, NTE, or Ananta, then the casual audience needs to be brought into that game. The casual audience are the main revenue stream of these games. Yes, it's easier to believe that all of the people who are online raging and trying to defend the game as aggressively as they possibly can are the main sources of income, but this is not true. It's mainly people who aren't really engaging with all of these things that are the main sources of income, and we should always try our best to make the games look good to them so that they can actually come in and make our games successful. The more money our games make, hopefully the more innovations that the games will have, and that will make the games better. Now, I know that there are probably going to be people who don't agree with me, but I strongly believe that that's what will happen if we actually do things the right way. But let me hear all of your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, I really didn't want to make the video to be very, very long, but judging from what I'm seeing right now, it might be longer than I had expected. But thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, remember, I've already made a video talking about us potentially getting a beta announcement in August. So if anything about that comes out, I will do my very best to get a video out to you that exact same day. But it will be safer if you follow me on Twitter, because I will make a post about it there first before I make a video on YouTube. Also, make sure to join the hideout on Discord, and you can suggest stuff to me that I can make content about on my second channel, which is more focused on news in a rapid fire style. But that's really everything that I wanted to talk about. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.